Welcome back to Friday Beyond Spotlights. This is Patrick Tsang. I'm a local Hong Kong businessman, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. On Friday Beyond Spotlights, we invite prominent guests to share their unique insights into current affairs, business, innovation, and culture. We're very pleased to have with us today the Honorable John Lee, the Chief Executive of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. John, welcome to Friday Beyond Spotlights. John, President Xi Jinping has acknowledged the favorable conditions and distinctive advantages of Hong Kong's close connection with the world market, with the full backing and support from China. How likely do you think we can join RCEP, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, and what will be your next move to achieve that?
Well, I really think that we will join RCEP because I think it is for the benefit of RCEP itself and also of the benefit to Hong Kong. We have very close trading relationship with the RCEP countries. In fact, we already have a free trade agreement with 13 of the 15 economies of RCEP. But why is RCEP important to us? Because, for example, the trade service that Hong Kong has with RCEP countries is about 50% of our overall trading service. And for trading goods, it will be 70%. So that means it is a very important trading relationship between Hong Kong and RCEP. But the reason we join is more on how we integrate with different places in the world. And RCEP are our close partners, close economies. I want to leverage on that because we have a lot to offer. As you rightly point out, we are connected to the world as well as we are the gateway to the mainland markets. So we have that unique advantage that no other place will have. Hong Kong is the only city in the world that the China advantage and the international global advantage converge in one single city. So we want to contribute, and of course, we will benefit as well.
John, we see international events returning to our city, from Hong Kong Sevens to the Global Financial Leaders Investment Summit. Are we going to expect more?
Very much more. I have just announced another relaxation, big measures. So basically, visitors, once they arrive in Hong Kong, provided they're not infected, then they go about their duties as free as a bird. And they do anything, basically do anything. And I think that is a strong impetus for the economy to grow because tourism will come back very quickly. And we have new attractions, which are the favorable policies that the country has given us. So other than the 4 traditional centers, which are the International Financial Center, trading, shipping, and also a regional center to resolve a legal dispute, we have 4 emergent sectors to build as our additional strengths. And these are the INT, Aviation Hub, the Arts and Culture Exchange Hub, and also intellectual property trading. So these are the new beauties. And also, I think Hong Kong is now very united to put our energy together. So we will be making progress and making progress fast.
That's fantastic. John, I would like to continue this theme of telling the good Hong Kong story. I think you've requested that the government and the people in Hong Kong, particularly students, tell the world the good things about Hong Kong and the good story of our one country, 2 systems. How can this be achieved, and what role can younger generation play? How will they tell the good stories of Hong Kong?
Well, tell the truth. Just tell the truth. There are 2 aspects about this. First of all, you know of the political complexities, the geopolitical relationship. So there has been a political force to smear the Hong Kong situation, also the one country, 2 systems principle being implemented in Hong Kong. So we have to be aware of this smear campaign. we should then actively go out to tell the true story so that people know this is a smear campaign. This is not true. So tell the true stories about how they go about their daily lives, how they live and work and learn on campus, and how they interact with other students overseas, and the connectivity, the things they do, and how they can enjoy their lives in Hong Kong, the vibrancy, the East meets West, the melting pot of culture.
So be confident and go out and tell the story.
Absolutely.
I must address a little bit about the policy address. You've outlined 7 measures to attract investment and talent, including establishment of the Office for Attracting Strategic Enterprises, dedicated teams for attracting business and talents, and earmarked billions of dollars, right, investment fund to attract enterprises to set up operations in Hong Kong. Will the government consider rolling more measures such as individual or enterprise tax incentives? Or so far, what has been attracting people's attention?
Well, first of all, Patrick, I thank you for spending so much time on reading my policy address. Indeed, you have mentioned some of the measures, but not all, because, well, it is quite a thick document. We do have tailor-made plans for industries or companies that we think have a long-term strategic value to Hong Kong's overall development. We use not to have a policy on industry, but we equally think that it is government's responsibility to develop the overall competence of Hong Kong so that we will remain sufficiently competitive. I think we should focus on specific strategic industry because that will ensure that we will have a fast return in a shorter period of time. That will ensure that we will be on par with our competing economies. And so it's not just we have this office to attract talents and companies. We will have special plans such as tax concession, land provision, support for staff such as their day-to-day needs, education, medical, and also maybe some subsidy for their work. Then, of course, we will have stronger assistance in some industries, such as I&T, because I&T lies in the future. And if we do not get competitive in I&T, it will be hardly possible for us to be competitive. And I think this is the world trend. We will be investing in companies or industries which we think will have a promising future, such as startups, etc. And we also would like to invite some iconic leaders to come to Hong Kong because their presence here will be the testimony of Hong Kong's strength and opportunities. And I think that is the way to help, in some way, making people realize that Hong Kong's potential opportunities and chances.
And it's really also a very strong and confident way to project our advantages and tell the good story to the world.
And also, we will be doing it as we go along. In other words, if there are things that we can do even better, then we can roll out additional measures. We have to ensure that Hong Kong people, their interests and their future are well taken care of. So it's not just that I will be grabbing talents from other places. I'll be developing, nurturing, creating the good environment and learning opportunities and also development opportunities for Hong Kong people. I think that is very important as well. After all, this is the home of Hong Kong people.
John, as you've mentioned, the policy address is quite thick with lots of good ideas in there. How will the government execute all the proposed measures and maintain its competitiveness with our neighboring countries?
I wrote my policy address not by myself. It's teamwork. It's collective production. A lot of suggestion ideas, some even groundbreaking, untraditional initiatives, actually were suggested by my colleagues. So they have the passion and commitment to it because it is what they propose. And so delivery of all the things that we have promised should be obvious result, a natural process. So I have confidence. But of course, we have to work hard because as we progress, there are bound to be challenges, obstacles that we may not foresee. Then leaders should come in. So that is why in my policy address, I emphasize on building teams. And teams can only be strong if there's strong leadership and if there's a common shared value and beliefs. And I'm very lucky to have my team sharing the same governance beliefs as I do. So I have strong confidence that we'll deliver what we have promised, probably even more.
Well, John, we thank you for your leadership. I want to ask you a question for our younger viewers out there. What advice would you give them if they're interested in a career in public service or in the government?
Well, you have to believe in what you do. You have to have the passion for it. The purpose of public service is not to ask for people to compliment you. The purpose of public service is to ensure that you create value for society. But public service is to see things in the long run and to assess whether what we do really create value to society.
Thank you, John, for the advice. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to Friday Beyond Spotlights. We have with us today the Honorable John Lee, the Chief Executive of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. Who is John Lee behind the spotlights? Who or what defining moments in his life shaped him into who he is today? Will we get to learn his life model or life ambition? In this show and tell segment, we shall go behind and beyond glaring spotlights as our special guest today, John Lee, shows us an item that has a special meaning in shaping him into who he is today, with fiercely strong Lion Rock can-do spirit. And perhaps we get to journey back in time with John to experience some special moments and see how these moments might have shaped him and may shape us. I understand you are a Qigong expert. I was wondering whether you can share some of your thoughts around the philosophy. Is it Eastern? Is it Western? Is it comprehensive? What are your views?
Well, I have been practicing Qigong for over 25 years. I practice it for a very practical reason. I had very severe back pain at the time. Doctors, Western or Chinese, acupuncture, massage, chiropractors, whatever, I've tried everything. And little improvements. And it was so bad that I could, within 15 minutes after sitting on a chair, had to lie down because it was so painful. I had a very good friend who was one of the medical practitioners who treated me. And he said, well, John, I think we have tried everything and I couldn't help you. How about you try Qigong? I said, well, is it real? And he said, well, I practice Qigong. And he's a medical practitioner. So I tried. 7 years. In fact, little progress. Although I felt a little bit of heat and, well, perspiration during that time. So I was there. There must be some effect because my body responded. And somehow I kept doing it. I came from the discipline service. So once I had a problem, I need to overcome it. So I didn't give up. I persevered. And then I went to different teachers, tutors, the great practitioners. And luckily, I learned from one who was a great tutor in China. And this Chinese tutor taught me the first motion-led Qigong. And then about 2 months, strong feeling. I had to, what we call stand in some sort of statue positions. And for each time is 45 minutes. But during that 45 minutes, I sweat a lot. I sweat so much that my family member had to use a mop to mop
on
it.
the floor.
Wow, so this effect was so so clear and so
So
sharp.
you
to
were
me.
stationary, but all the blockages were being pushed away.
And I also spoke to great tutors. There was one particular school of Qigong that benefited me. And it combined motion and meditation together. Basically, I moved around and let myself really be relaxed and let the motion and the feeling take me. And then I started to do different kinds of motions that I would not have imagined that I would have thought of doing. For example, when I had that back pain, they somehow swing and swing around that point at the center of a motion. I could be standing up, I could be lying down. Somehow, the motion took me to do all these things, provided I'm very relaxed and I'm in the condition. There was a breaking point. The breaking point was I was doing these motions and then I hit myself, different parts. And the theory is that you hit so as to help that particular point. And I hit it and hit it, and eventually I hit my belly for a long, long time. It was something like, I think at least 10 minutes to 50 minutes, and just hitting one point. And then I was practicing together with my wife, and my wife was really nice because it was very boring to her, but because she supported me, she really wanted me to try to find a way to get out of my pain. So she practiced it together with me. And while I was doing it, she was worried that, well, would I hurt myself? But then when we finished and I took my shower, and then he looked at me and saw, wow, your belly there was really bad. It's all red. Then I was sleeping deeply. Then somehow I began to breathe, deep breathe, to a point that the rib cage is already out at the outest. Then naturally you should breathe out again. But it was held there. I almost wanted to cry for help because I couldn't breathe. But then all of a sudden, after holding it for a while, it collapsed. And then I breathe out and breathe out and breathe out to a point that every bit of air was breathed out. I need to breathe in again. And then it was held back like that for the same kind of fear that I couldn't breathe again. And then I started to breathe again, and that then several times. And next day I did the same Qigong again. Then the feeling was very different. And then I persisted, and I think slowly and slowly get more points cleared and got through. I practice, I spend a lot of time. I invest my time on my health.
Thank you, John. So being very intentional and being focused on it.
Absolutely.
So John, as we reflect on the past, introspectively look at how Hong Kong or the world is today, and gaze into the future, what's in store for us?
Well, Hong Kong will be the place that people can realize their dreams, make their dreams come true, and also live harmoniously, happily, and warmly together.
So John, now we've come to our rapid fire segment, our fun segment, where we get up close and personal with you. I will just ask you some rapid fire questions. You can just tell me whatever answer that comes straight from your mind. So let's start with, what's your favorite food?
Dim sum.
So John, if you can bring any person to Hong Kong, who would that person be?
Then of course, our president, President Xi Jinping.
And where would you take President Xi for a meal, special meal in Hong Kong?
Of course, seafood. This is something we are so proud of and I like so much.
You talked about Qigong. Any other sports that you enjoy?
Swimming.
What's the last book that you've read?
Tuesday with Maury.
What's your last search on the internet? What topic?
Climate change.
Who do you admire most?
My father. Because, well, he was not very well educated. He took the family through difficult times, and he made me feel how important a father is to the whole family. So I thank you, and I loved him.
If there's another person that you would like to thank in front of the TV now, who would that person be?
My wife, absolutely, without a doubt. Because, in fact, I could not find the time to talk to her, and she has been so supportive and considerate.
What's your biggest fear?
I fear no fear.
What advice would you give your younger self?
Take good care of your health.
What legacy would you like to leave behind, John?
I want myself to be a story that people will at least know that Hong Kong is the place which will allow hard work to get to the eventual goal of what a person is created for.
What would Hong Kong be like in 5 years' time?
Well, I really think that Hong Kong will be full of energy, will be full of vibrance, will be full of opportunities, and I think also be well recognized as a very model international city.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Patrick.
John, can you please share with our audiences some suggestions or well wishes for Hong Kong?
Contribute the best you can, because this is our home. Respect others, because we are all family members. And collectively unite with the common goal of making Hong Kong a better place for us all, a better future for us all.
Thank you for joining us on Friday Beyond Spotlights. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
So, John, what do you look forward to when you get home?
Well, I want every evening when I go home that my wife is willing to hug me again, saying that, well, tonight it isn't too late.
Wonderful, and the love and warmth that we feel when we go home, just as Hong Kong is our home.
It is our home.
Thank you, John.